If you're an email marketing agency owner and you're currently creating client email designs yourself, you need to stop. In this video, what I'm going to do is show you step by step how to create winning email designs without doing it yourself or paying someone else a fortune to do it for you. Okay, so stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to do three specific things here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what good email design looks like. I'm going to show you how you can talk design and sell it to e-com brands as if you're an expert without you looking stupid in the process. And I'm going to show you our system so that you can yourself systemize your design process so that it is quick, easy, and cheap to outsource. All right. So without further ado, guys, what I'm going to do is minimize my face and we're going to jump straight into the video here. Okay. So we've got a lot to go through. Now, the first thing that I want to cover is what makes a good email design, okay? And my word of advice to you as an email marketing agency owner is to not try and reinvent the wheel. What you need to do is actually go away and find and copy good examples, okay? Copy good emails that you can apply for your clients, all right? In order to copy good emails, you need to find them, all right? So what we do in-house is we use two tools to do this. We use a tool called Mild.com and a tool called reallygoodemails.com. They're two websites which I'm going to show you now. And these allow us to basically assess what's currently working in the wider e-com space and what current winning email designs look like that we can swipe, share with our team, take away and recreate. Okay. So the first website here, now I've been a member of Really Good Emails, I think since 2018. And I think if I go to your emails, it might even be, so look, 2018 designs here that I saved then, all right? Now what you'll find here is basically a collection of email designs that have been either submitted to Really Good Emails or they've been swiped by other individuals like yourself who are trying to just make a bit of a data bank and save good email designs that they've come across, okay? And you can peruse all of their different categories and then you can create your own email design kind of folder, and that's what I've done here. All right, so once you've done that, you can share this with your team, you can share this with your graphic designers, which I'm going to talk about in a moment here, and it will give them an idea of the type of email designs and the caliber of emails that you expect them to design for your clients. Okay. Now, if you've got a good eye for design, like I say, Mild.com is another one. You can go via your brand. So when you sign up to Mild, it's free, and you can look at all your different favorite brands here. If we click J. Crew, it's hopefully going to let us in, and you're going to be able to take a look at currently what's working well for J. Crew. And if you've got a menswear brand that you're working with or a women's wear brand or a clothing brand, whatever it might be that these are the types of designs that you are going to go for because that brand aligns with the type of customer base that a brand like J. Crew has, right? So if you've got an eye for good design, if you've got an eye for design and you can tell what makes a good email and what makes a bad email, then this is going to be a pretty good and simple process for you. But if you don't, I'm going to give you a couple of things that you need to look out for, okay? Now, here's what you need to look out for when it comes to good e-com email design. The first is flow. The second is dynamism. The third is customization. The fourth is imagery. And the fifth is CTAs, okay? Now, the best email designs are highly responsive, all right? What it means to have a responsive design or how responsive a design is refers to how adaptable that design is to being viewed on different platforms and in different formats, okay? And in order to find and create responsive designs, what you need to do is basically analyze the designs you're coming across for a couple of key variables. Now, the first one is to analyze the space above the fold. Now, the fold is an old advertising or advertorial phrase that refers to a newspaper or an advertorial or a physical print or email design where all of the bulk of the key information and the design work must be above the fold of the design. So strictly speaking, it's kind of a 50-50 split. And what you want to look for in your winning designs is what they have included above the fold. Okay, how does the email look above that kind of eye line in the first 50 percentile of what customers are going to see on those designs. Okay, so use the space above the fold. The second one here is to avoid using custom fonts. Okay, so this is specifically relevant for the instructions you give to your graphic designer, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. And then the third point here to really make sure that you are swiping designs that have that are responsive is that they incorporate variable elements. Okay, so these could include profile personalizations, like, you know, examples, first name, last name, email addresses, or whatever it might be, or special syntax, so that every email that goes out to the specific customer is going to be unique, dependent on who they are, where in the world they're receiving it, times, or whatever variable you pick within that. Okay. Now, once you've found some designs that you like, save them and share them in a folder with your team. Okay, I've talked about how important that is just a moment ago. Now, the next step that you need to focus on in the design process when it comes to your team is actually finding a good graphic designer. Okay, so like I say, if you are an agency owner and you're doing the designs yourself, you're causing a lot of issues for your clients. Okay, you're creating a glass ceiling when it comes to you know, how responsive your designs are and how much money they're going to make. Okay, a good graphic designer is going to do three things for you. Okay, firstly, they're going to save you time and therefore money. All right. What they're also going to do is actually work miracles for you. Okay, so your clients will be visually blown away when your graphic designer creates something that is customized and out of this world. Okay, and however much you're going to try, however much you're using Canva or whatever you're using to create designs yourself, you're not going to be able to replicate what your good graphic designer can do for you. Okay, and the third thing that a good graphic designer can offer your agency is replicability. Okay, and this is directly important for when it comes to scaling your agency. That if you get a good graphic designer on early days, they're going to be able to create designs for you that you can then go away as somebody who doesn't have design experience or expertise or technical know-how. You can then go away and adapt those designs and apply them to your new clients without actually having to pay another graphic designer to do it. Okay. So what you need to focus on when you find a graphic designer, and I've got other videos on the channel that tell you a little bit about how we actually go out into the marketplace and hire top talent and do so cheaply. But what you want to make sure your graphic designer can kind of have attribute-wise is threefold. Okay, so the first one is that they can create custom designs using either Photoshop or Figma. Okay, so you're not paying custom and expert senior graphic design rates for somebody in a faraway land who is just going to go into Canva or into Klaviyo and create the designs themselves. Okay, they have to be good at creating custom designs that are given to them from a brief, from a vision that you've had, and they can go away and apply their expertise and create something unique. All right. The second point here is that they have to have a relevant portfolio. So do not accept a portfolio from a client, from a designer, sorry, if they are giving you designs that they've done for previous clients. Maybe they've done product imagery, or they've done website design or PDF design, whatever it might be. You need to see the actual designs that they have built within Klaviyo itself. And the third point, this brings me on to nicely, is you have to look for a graphic designer who can natively build within Klaviyo itself. Okay, so what you don't want is them to basically create the designs on Photoshop or Figma, provide you with those designs, and then you have to go into Klaviyo yourself and try and copy and clone the templates that have been built from a custom backbone into Klaviyo that's going to have its restrictions when it comes to their native drag and drop builder. All right. So graphic designers do not have to be expensive. And what I recommend you do is look far and wide for graphic designers, but specifically in Eastern Europe and South America. Why? So why do I say that specifically those countries instead of the Philippines or Thailand? Is because our experience with designers from these parts of the world has been really great. And when I mean great, what I mean is predominantly this: cheap, okay, and quality. They're really good quality. And when it comes to the rates of pay for these graphic designers, I'm going to give you specifically what we pay our designers. You can find a good junior graphic designer for around about $11 per hour, sometimes less, sometimes it can kind of be $9 to $11 per hour. And when it comes to a senior graphic designer that you're sourcing from South America, you're going to pay no more than $20 an hour, okay? Possibly sometimes $25 an hour, possibly sometimes less, but we've had great success with finding great design staffing, individuals at these rates here. All right. So, and just so you know, our junior designer comes from the Ukraine, and our senior designer comes from Argentina. All right, so not India, not Pakistan, not the Philippines, Ukraine and Argentina. All right. So if you, the next point, I guess, once you've got your graphic design capabilities covered, is to focus on getting the right tools in place. Now, when it comes to the holy tech stack for email design and the email design process, you only really need 4 tools. You need Google Drive, you need Google Documents, ClickUp for your project management, and Markup for all of your edits and amends. And what I'm going to do now is, for all of you guys who've stuck around to the end of the video here, I'm going to run through our step-by-step system here that we've basically iterated on over the last few years that enables us to have a design process that causes us no headaches. It's super cheap and easy to implement, and everybody in the team understands it. Okay. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is jump into the first step. Now, the first step here is to find design inspiration. Okay, so we've already talked about how to do that on the likes of Mild and reallygoodemails.com. Find designs, reverse engineer the designs that you know are working within the current e-commerce landscape today. Don't reinvent the wheel. Swipe them, and then share them with your team. Okay. While sharing them with your team, what you want to do is start to create a data bank. Okay, so we want one data bank for internal use, and we want one data bank for our clients. Okay, so your clients should not have access to all of your internal documentation. They should have limited access to what you want them to have access to in operating your agency. Okay, so it's very simple. You want to create 2 Google Drive folders. The first one is internal, the second one is external, the external one being the one you add your clients to. Okay, with the external one, the client is going to add all of their assets. Okay, so all of their logos, their hex, their colorways, their product imagery, whatever it might be, all of the information that you're going to need in order to create beautiful email designs, they're going to drop that into their client-facing Google Drive folder. When it comes to your internal data bank, what you want to do is 2 things. Okay, you want to give your graphic designer access to this data bank, and you also want to give your team access to this too. And they can have access as well to the external one, but you want to limit their permissions. Okay, so if they're not a client-facing member of the team, they don't need to be able to interact with the client. Okay, so from there, what we're going to do is create a Google document, and in that Google document, we are basically going to outline the template for our designs. Okay, and this is what we call a design brief. Now, design briefs are really important. Okay, so even if you have a brilliant graphic designer who's a star graphic designer from Ukraine or Argentina, wherever it might be, even if you have those guys on board and you trust them, you always want to set expectations clearly. You want to clearly define the scope, because if you don't have a clearly defined scope, you open yourself up to the risk of not getting what you wanted. Okay, and that's going to cause inefficiencies with, not least your profit margins, but actually the timeline of delivering the scope for the client. Okay, so you always want to basically provide a design brief for your designers, however experienced they are. And once you've done that, you're going to drop that into a Google document, and you're going to add it basically into your Google Drive here. Okay, so make sure that your team has access to it. Sometimes what you can do is have a design brief that your clients will immediately put all of the information onto. So if they're providing the copy, whatever the relationship you've got with the client, you can scale this and systemize this, even to be even more streamlined by giving your client access to that design brief. But in any case, you want to make it clear for your graphic designer what the responsibilities are and what the scope items and action items and vision is that you have for the design. It needs to be clear to them. Okay. So once you've got your design brief in place, now we have all of our SOPs and we have all of our templates and design briefs and everything like that all inside the Ecom Email Accelerator. What we have is 5 to 6, I think it is now, different types of campaigns. So when we have our graphic designers create a new design for an email, it's going to be a design based on either doing a product promo or a multi-product promo, like a collection, a sale campaign, maybe it's a one-off discount, Black Friday, whatever it might be. Could be a brand builder or a newsletter or a letter from the founder, like a simple text letter. Equally, it could be a promotion of a blog post or an internal long form post within that email format, or something that goes out to the VIP segments for each of our clients. Okay, it's a loyalty based offer. Now, on that design brief, we have a name for the campaign that aligns with everything we input into ClickUp, which is our project management tool. I'm going to talk about in a moment. We put in the campaign date. We obviously allocate what type of campaign it is. And then if the designer has access to see segments on Klaviyo, we'll actually tell them specifically what segment this is. Okay, maybe it's women, maybe it's previous customers that have checked out in the last 30 days and like the color red, whatever it might be, whatever segment we've created, we give we let our designers be privy to that information. Okay, so like I say, all of these templates are in the EEA. If you want more details on that, you can book a call with me below. Okay. So once we've got our brief and it's all inputted nicely into a beautiful Google Doc like the one I just showed you, we have to add all of the scope items to ClickUp. Now I've got a ClickUp tutorial on the channel that you're more than welcome to go and check out. I'm not going to give you a full breakdown of how we lay everything out in ClickUp today, but what I will do in this video is just give you a brief outline. Okay, so everything that we submit into ClickUp when it comes to design starts with the task. We input an individual task, we name the campaign, and we put the date that it's due. Okay, from there we assign the team member. One of my arrows is missing here, which I'm going to add here. So we assign, okay, this is going to faff me around here. There we go. We assign the team member, so we assign that physically to our graphic designer, whether it's the junior designer or senior designer, whatever it might be. We assign them their role within ClickUp. We add a deadline, so we say to them, this is the date that this needs to be approved and completed and scheduled by. And then we also give them a step-by-step approval process. Okay, so when it comes to the specific task in ClickUp, we have a status for that task, and this is how the statuses are laid out for our agency. Okay, the first one is the task being assigned. So when we upload a new design brief to ClickUp, to that client's folder within ClickUp, we will set the status to assigned. Okay, so we've assigned it to the graphic designer, and we're waiting for them to respond. Once the designer has responded and taken on the task, they will change that status. That's their responsibility to in progress. And then we go nicely down the kind of natural progression here. So once they've created the design, we then set the status to, or they set it to awaiting approval. Now, when it comes to the approval process, here's a very quick and simple way to create efficiency in your agency, okay? So instead of getting them to build it directly in Photoshop or Klaviyo itself and then sending it to you via an email, and then you respond via Slack, and then you send it to the client via Discord or whatever it might be, this is a very simple way to streamline your amendment process. So the first way is to use a tool like Markup. Okay, so if you go to www.markup.io, and I'll drop a link below to our current tech stack, so you can get access to all of the tools that we use with our agency. A lot of them we've negotiated extended free trials on too for your benefit. But in any case, open an account with Markup, and you want to do two things, okay? So you want your graphic designer to create two versions of each design template that they have created. The first one is internal, and the second one is a client-facing external one. The internal one is the one that you see internally, whoever's signing off for the design, the account manager or you as a founder. This is the one that you can add direct comments to. And on Markup, you can literally click on the design, it will create a little bubble, and you can say, edit heading, delete this, change color, whatever it might be super specific, spell it out for your designer of what you don't like and what you want them to change, and use a tool like Markup to do that. Now, if you've got edits, it will just revolve around this process again. It will recycle. So the edits will be made, it will get resubmitted, still waiting approval. Once we've finally got internal approval, and once the designer has got sign off internally, we'll then get them to upload a client-facing external markup file that they can share externally with the client. And this basically just reiterates this process where the client can then say directly, they can drop comments on the design saying, don't like this, change this, add this to the copy. And we know exactly what the clients like and don't like about the design. Okay. So that, in a nutshell, is our design process, okay? And what this design process is going to do is show you how systems and scale and efficiency will actually reduce headaches and increase your profit margins in your agency. And that's why I make these videos, okay? It's why nobody else online actually shares any of the real juicy information. There's a lot of people out there that will show you how to design emails in Klaviyo, but they won't tell you how to sell designs, how to talk about them with clients so you don't sound like an idiot, so you sound like you know what you're talking about. They don't talk about how to manage graphic designers and optimize your design process. And that's exactly what I'm hoping this video will have done for you, okay? So again, if you're an email marketer and you are looking to scale your marketing agency and you're doing your designs yourself, you have to stop, okay? Swipe this whole process, implement it into your agency, and drop a comment below to let me know how it's helped and how it's improved, okay? Going forward, I'm going to be releasing more super niche videos specifically for you as an email marketing agency owner, okay? So not Klaviyo focused emails for brands. These are specific, Klaviyo videos for brands. These are specific tutorials for email marketing agency owners like yourself, okay? So if you've got value from this, what I'd really appreciate it, if you could do it, is subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow and it helps other people in the same position get access to information like this too, which will help them, okay? The other option, you can book a call with me below. I'll drop a link. There's no pressure. And like I say, drop a comment below if you've got any questions, and we'll catch up in the next one. All right, cheers.